Hi guys, this is Austin with the recap. Alright, this video is going to be the first half of my NBA preview. I'm doing the Western Conference in this video. I'm going to be doing the playoff picks and divisional picks. I'll have the Eastern Conference video on Sunday, but this video is going to be about the Western Conference. Alright, let's get right into it. I'm going to start with my upset pick of the week. And this is not really a huge upset because it's number 8 Oklahoma versus number 5 Notre Dame, and a huge college football game this year. Huge college football game this year. Huge college football game this week. To tell you the truth, I am sick and tired of Notre Dame being in the national championship hunt. They are 7-0 and they need to lose. They should not have beat BYU. They definitely should not have beat Stanford, but somehow they did, and I think Oklahoma is going to break that streak. Oklahoma's been on fire past 2 weeks. They've been scoring 63 points and 52 points the last 2 weeks, and Oklahoma's been surprisingly balanced. They're 5th in the nation at 45.7 points per game in scoring, and they're 12th in defense at 15.3 points per game. And I know Notre Dame has a great defense, only allowing 9.4 points per game, which is good for 2nd in the nation. But I think Oklahoma's offense is clicking too much. The game's in Oklahoma, so that's why my pick is Oklahoma 30, Notre Dame 17. All right, now on to the Western Conference. This is my main topic for this video, and I'm going to be starting in the Northwest Division. But before I do that, let me say this. The Western Conference is better than the Eastern Conference this year. The Western Conference has better teams, and they are the superior conference. All right, now that that's out of the way, I can get into the teams. Let's start in the Northwest Division with the Oklahoma City Thunder. They've got too much Kevin Durant, too much Russell Westbrook, too much James Harden, too much Serge Ibaka. They just got too many good players. Last year, Kevin Durant averaged 28 points per game and 8 rebounds. I think if he gets that up to about 10 rebounds per game this year, he could maybe make a push for MVP. I don't think he'll win it. I think LeBron's still too good. And last year, Russell Westbrook averaged 23.6 points and 5.5 assists. I'd like to see him get the points down to maybe 21.5 and the assists up to 6.5 or 7 so that he can play more like a traditional point guard. But still, the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to be a great team this year. Now on to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the Minnesota Timberwolves could have been great this year. I think they could have made the playoffs, but injuries have killed them before the season has even started. Kevin Love is out till the middle of November with a broken hand. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. Ricky Rubio is out with the torn ACL, and he won't be back till December at the soonest, and maybe even January, so that's a big blow. So their 2 best players are out, so I don't think they can make the playoffs this year. But next year, I think they will. Next year, I think they'll get the job done. Now on to the Portland Trail Blazers. The Portland Trail Blazers are moving in the right direction. They really, really are. They have Damian Lillard, who I said, I don't know if he can be a real point guard, but so far he's proved me wrong. In the preseason, he's averaging 17 points and 6 assists. I know it's just a preseason, but still, that's pretty good stats for a guy who people did not expect to be a point guard. They also have LaMarcus Aldridge, so maybe in a couple years they can make a push for the playoffs. Now on to the Utah Jazz, who are kind of stuck in mediocrity, which is the worst place to be in the NBA. Because you're not bad enough to get a high lottery pick, and you're not good enough to make the playoffs. And even if you do make the playoffs, you won't make any noise because you have to play a great team. They have too many front court players. They have Paul Millsap, Al Jefferson, Enes Kanter, Derek Favors, and they could all be starters, but they can't start 4 power forwards and centers. So I think they got to unload either Paul Millsap or Al Jefferson. I'm not sure which one, but I think they do need to get rid of one of those players, and I just don't think the Jazz are going to make the playoffs, but I still think they'll be a solid team. They'll give teams fits. Now on to the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets are going to be my surprise team of this year, and they'll challenge the Thunder for the division. Denver will not win the division. The Thunder will still win the division, but Denver could challenge. Denver has great young players in Ty Lawson, and I think JaVale McGee will finally figure it out and stop making so many stupid plays like running back on defense when his team was still on offense. But I think he'll finally figure that out. I think he'll maybe be in the running for the most improved player award. And I think Ty Lawson might be as well. I think Ty Lawson will get his points up from 16.4 a game to about 20 a game. And I think they're going to really love having Andre Iguodala on the team. So watch out for the Nuggets. Now on to the Pacific Division. My division winner for this division is the Los Angeles Lakers. I am excited about this team. I cannot wait to watch the Lakers play. Dwight Howard is too much of a beast. He's too much of a beast. He was the beast from the East, but now he's the best in the West. I just love Dwight Howard. I know it's only the preseason, but in his first game in the preseason, he was 8 of 12 with 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks. He had 4 blocks in the preseason. Dude's already playing defense in the preseason. I think the Lakers are going to be great this season. They have Kobe Bryant. They have Steve Nash. They have Dwight Howard. They have Pau Gasol. So Lakers are going to be great. I think they'll make it to the finals. Now on to Golden State. And I think Golden State's going to have a magical season. I think Golden State's going to have a great season. And the key to their season is if Andrew Bogut and Stephen Curry can stay healthy. If those players can stay healthy, I definitely think they'll make the playoffs. If they don't, Golden State will not make the playoffs. I also think Klay Thompson will get his points per game up from 12.5 to about 17 or 18 because Monta Ellis is no longer there. Alright, now on to the Clippers, and you already know it. Lob City Clips, Lob Lob City Clips, Lob City Clips, Lob Lob City Clips. The Los Angeles Clippers, the other LA team, I think they're going to be great this year. Chris Paul and Blake Griffin get another year together. That's only going to benefit them. Chris Paul is such a smart player, such a great player. Blake Griffin's still improving. I think he'll be a superstar one day when he can figure out his post moves. But right now, he's just dunking over people, and that works because they can run pick and roll. Chris Paul gives them a nice bounce pass and bah! Super dunk. So yeah, I just like the Clippers this year. I think DeAndre Jordan is finally going to break out. He reminds me a lot of Tyson Chandler. And that he's kind of a late bloomer. This is DeAndre Jordan's 5th year. I think this will probably be his best year. Last year, he only averaged 7.4 points per game. I think he'll probably get that up to about 10.5 points per game. And I think he'll get about 11 rebounds and get his blocks up from 2 blocks to about 2.5 blocks this year. The Clippers also have key additions in Jamal Crawford and Lamar Odom. I think they'll return to their previous form. I don't think they'll be like last year. They both had duds of seasons. I think Jamal Crawford's going to play great. And Lamar Odom's back in LA. He won't have a mental breakdown. He actually started his career with the Clippers, so that's kind of interesting. Now on to the Phoenix Suns. And the Phoenix Suns are just, They're stuck in mediocrity. They're not a great team. I don't know why they signed Goran Dragic and Michael Beasley. I would have preferred if they just said, all right, we're going to be really bad for a couple of years, but we'll get some high lottery picks. We'll get some great players, maybe Shabazz Muhammad, maybe a Nerlens Noel. But now they're kind of all right to the point where they could almost make the playoffs, but they won't make the playoffs. And I think that's going to end up hurting this team. I think that was a mistake. And now on to the Kings. You know I'm a big fan of the Kings because they might be the Sonics in a couple of years. Woo! I bleed green and gold. So that's why I love the Kings this year. I think they're 2 or 3 years out, but I think they've got great players in Isaiah Thomas and DeMarcus Cousins. So I think they'll be pretty solid. I think they'll eventually trade Tyreke Evans to get a solid small forward. And I know Kings fans are going to say, when their team leaves, but Seattle fans will be so happy. Now on to the Southwest Division. My winner for this division is going to be the Spurs. And I'm sorry, Spurs fans, but the clock is tick-tock, tick-tock, ticking. And it makes me sad because I really like the Spurs. They're a great team. But this might be their last chance at a championship, and I don't think they'll get it just because the Lakers and Thunder are so good, which makes me sad. Maybe they'll have a new era, but right now, I just don't think they can get there with the core of Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker. Now I'm going to go on to Houston, and they're in super rebuilding mode. Jeremy Lin is the best player on the team, and that's trouble. Trouble, 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 trouble. Because he turned the ball over way too much as a Knick. And I think he's going to turn it over a lot as a Houston Rocket just because he has no other offensive help. I mean, he's got great players like Omer Asik, who last year averaged 3.1 points, 5.3 rebounds, and a block. Wow, those are some gaudy numbers. Now on to the New Orleans Hornets. And I really like the New Orleans Hornets. I think they're only 1 or 2 years away, maybe. Because I think Anthony Davis is going to take a little while to develop, but he is averaging a double-double in the preseason, 13.4 points and 10 rebounds per game. So that's encouraging. They also have Eric Gordon. They have Austin Rivers, who I think will be a good role player, and Ryan Anderson, who's only 24 years old. So look for the Hornets to be good in a couple of seasons. Now on to the Memphis Grizzlies, who I think could be a scary team in the playoffs if they don't play bad as a team. If they play well as a team, I think they'll be very good. If they play bad as a team, this could be a bad season for them. But I think they'll figure it out. I think Rudy Gay and Zach Randolph will play well together. Now on to the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks will barely limp into the playoffs just because Dirk Nowitzki. They got OJ Mayo and Darren Collison, but that's really about it. I'm not really excited about this team. Now my picks for the playoffs. I have the Lakers as the 1 seed, the Thunder as the 2 seed, the Clippers as the 3 seed, the Spurs as the 4 seed, Denver as the 5 seed, Grizzlies as the 6 seed, Warriors as the 7 seed, and Dallas as the 8 seed. I think the Lakers will play the Thunder in the conference championship, and I think the Lakers will win. Now on to my Gold Star and Dunce Award for the week. This week, Gold Star goes to Pablo Sandoval, third baseman for the San Francisco Giants. San Francisco's off to a great start in the World Series. They're 2-0 thanks to this man, Pablo Sandoval. In the first game, he was 3 for 4 and 4 RBIs. But he hit 3 home runs on his first 3 at-bats. Are you serious? I'm really surprised, actually, with the Giants. I didn't think they were going to do amazing in these playoffs, or really even get to the World Series, and I didn't think they would win the World Series, but they might. They're up 2-0, so Tigers, you need to be on watch. Now on to my Dunce Award for the week. Robert Griffin III. Now I know some people are thinking, Robert Griffin III has the best completion percentage in the league at 70.4. Robert Griffin III has 1,600 yards and 7 passing touchdowns. Robert Griffin III has almost 500 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns on the ground. But Robert Griffin III also said, yeah, I can be elusive like a Vic. I can also manage the game like a Tom Breeze. I'm sorry, Robert Griffin, but Tom Breeze doesn't exist. So that's why I'm giving him the Dunce Award, because he said Tom Breeze. That's almost as bad as saying, yeah, well, the Miami Heat are the best baseball team in the NFL. So, just think about that, Robert Griffin, the next time you say you can be a game manager like a Tom Breeze. Alright guys, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Like I said, I'll have my Eastern Conference picks on Sunday. Like my video, subscribe to my channel, like my Facebook page. This was Austin with the recap.